Hi, and welcome to the Entrepreneurial You. My name is Lisa Rothstein. I am a former Madison Avenue copywriter and creative director, and I am so excited for you to be here today because I'm going to teach you about writing copy for your business. And before you get all worried and bent out of shape and freaked out, it's going to be easy, it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to share this with you. So I'm having a little bit of technical issues here, so we're going to see if this is going to work. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to see if we can get the slideshow up for you. Yep. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So I'm going to see if I can make this into a slideshow. And here we are. So welcome again. And you're about to learn the magic 5-step copywriting formula that sells anything and sets you up for success, even if you're not a writer. As I said, my name is Lisa Rothstein. I worked on Madison Avenue for many years on many big brands. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. And before you think this is a super bold claim, I just want to reassure you that you do not have to be a writer to do this. In fact, you're about to discover how to confidently create your own copy that sells your products, coaching programs, professional services, whatever you're selling, even if you think you can't write your way out of a wet paper bag. It's absolutely true. You do not need to be an amazing wordsmith to write the kind of copy that we need to write as business owners today. And it's important that you learn to write your own before you hand it off to somebody else. I'm going to teach you a little bit about that in a second. So this is for you if you'd rather eat broken glass than write for your business. And I know a lot of people who feel like this. This is for you if your marketing copy that you already have, if you've already been in business a little while, is flat or inauthentic, or you feel like it's not really you and feels kind of cheesy. If your copy isn't selling, that's a problem. It's not working for you. You want writing copy and content to be easy, but you have no idea where to start. And you're kind of facing the blank page and like deer in the headlights, and you don't even know where to begin. And you want to eventually be able to hand off writing copy to somebody else, to a professional copywriter like me or someone else, and you want to get a good return on your investment, a good ROI. And that's difficult if you don't know the things I'm about to teach you in this class today. By the way, for anybody who's super, super new at this, when I say copy, I mean the kinds of words that you write for your business that sell. This is not your blog posts necessarily, maybe a little bit, not really. This is really the kinds of things where you're going to be writing sales pages, where you're going to be writing copy that gets people to take action and do something. Facebook ads and things like that, okay? So you don't probably know me from Adam, so who am I and why should you listen to me? As I said before, I have been a marketing person for a very long time. I worked on Madison Avenue for over 20 years, writing copy for all kinds of big brands. And for the past several years, I have been working with small business owners and entrepreneurs and people who want to be entrepreneurs, like a lot of the folks who are attending the Entrepreneurial You. So, here's a few of the things that I've done. That's me on stage there. I've created national ad campaigns that have been responsible for millions of dollars in revenue. I mean, God knows how many millions, I lost count. And I am a copywriting expert now for big brands and for entrepreneurs, and I help them learn to write their own copy, which I'm very excited about. I am the creator of the 3-Step Copy to Cash Machine course, soon to be re-released, and I'm a big speaker on marketing, sought after by podcasters and people who run live events. And here's where I started my copywriting career. So if you know the TV show Mad Men that was on a few years ago, it's actually very true to life. It was a few years before I got started. I'm not quite that old, but I did start off as pretty much the same role as Penny, the girl you see in this picture, and I eventually rose to the level of Dawn in my career. Some of the clients that I wrote for were brands like these, Colgate, IBM, and a lot more. One of the biggest brands I wrote for was Hanes, and this was my big claim to fame. In the 1990s, I wrote a campaign with a jingle that went, "Wait till we get our Hanes on you," and that was my big claim to fame in the advertising business. So I like to say I changed America's underwear. And you have to be a little older to remember that campaign, but the people who do, it actually did a huge amount of business for that brand. Since then, I've been working with a lot of pretty major entrepreneurs on their copy and their marketing, including Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Les Brown, who's a big speaker, Laura Langmeyer, who's down here in the bottom right, and also for the company that, the coaching company that has spun off from the very popular book, The E-Myth Revisited, which I highly recommend that book if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because it really teaches you how to run your business. But I work with them on their copy and their marketing. And let's see, why is this not, hang on a second, my slides are not advancing. Oh, here they go, here we go. And so I've also been featured in a bunch of best-selling books, including the Ready, Aim, Captivate, which is down there in the bottom right, with Deepak Chopra and a few other luminaries. But here's the thing. It's one thing to write for big brands, but when you're actually out there in the business world on your own, it can actually get pretty hard. And I discovered this for myself, that writing about underwear was actually pretty easy compared to writing about my own business. And a lot of people who are in the Entrepreneurial You event are folks who have either recently left corporate or have, are thinking about leaving corporate. And I have to warn you that when you go out on your own and you have to kind of create your own brand, it can be a little bit intimidating, because you start to ask yourself, who the heck am I anyway? And I know that I faced kind of an identity crisis when I went off on my own and I left the big advertising agencies that I used to work for. But the good news is it really isn't as hard actually to do the kind of writing once you learn how as it was to do it in the advertising business. And here's the thing, you have to learn to do it, because if you don't write copy for your business, if you don't have copy, you don't really have a business, because you can't be everywhere and your copy stands in for you. It's what's on your website, it's what's on your sales pages, and you're not always there to stand there and close the sale with somebody. You're not always on the phone with people, and you're not always face to face with them. So you need the words that you put in your, on your business materials, on your sales materials to do the work for you that you can't do yourself. The other thing that's really important about your copy is that many, virtually unlimited people are going to be reading it. So it needs to be right. It needs to work. Otherwise, many millions of people, thousands of people are going to get affected by something that isn't actually really speaking to them. It kind of amplifies the effect, because if you're standing in front of somebody one-on-one, that's the only person who actually hears that pitch. But the copy that you have up online especially has the potential for being read by many more people, so you really need to get it right. Another thing that people don't think that much about is that a lot of business in the online world especially, takes place, it's sort of a referral, sort of joint venture kind of a thing, where other people will promote you and you'll promote them. And if your copy isn't really landing, people are going to be judging you by that, and maybe, deciding, well, I'm not sure I want to do business with this person because I don't really understand what they're selling. Their marketing isn't really landing for me, or it doesn't sound professional, or it doesn't sound clear. So you really want to make sure that that your copy really, makes the best impression for you, is what I'm trying to say. And here's the thing. A lot of people find writing hard for their business, but the problem, it's actually a symptom of a larger problem, I've discovered. And that if you can't write effectively about your business, it's sometimes a clue that maybe you don't really understand what you're selling. But don't worry, because I'm going to help you with that, in this presentation today. It's a lot of people think that they have a writing problem, but what they really have is, I don't really understand my business problem. I don't understand who I'm talking to. I don't know what I should be saying to them. And when you nail down those things, the words are actually not that hard. It's when you don't know what to say and you don't know who to say it to, is when you get that deer in the headlights feeling. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have a little animation here that I didn't recognize. Okay, so there's 4 reasons why entrepreneurs really hate writing their copy. The 4 reasons that I've discovered, there's probably a lot more, but here are the big 4. One is they think they're a terrible writer. Everyone says that to me. Oh, I can't do this. I have to hire somebody to do it because I'm a terrible writer. Again, I'm going to show you why that's not going to be important in the scenario that I'm going to teach you today. The next thing is, I don't want to sound salesy and cheesy. And they look at the other stuff that's out there and they think, oh my God, that is so salesy, and that's just not me. So they put off doing their marketing writing. Another one is they're just like, paralyzed. What the heck do I say? And then the last one is, what the heck do I say about me? Because a lot of folks who are at this summit, I know, are selling services that they are delivering, or they're basically selling themselves. And that can be difficult for a lot of reasons. It can be difficult because a lot of people don't like to toot their own horn. But the biggest reason it's difficult is that it's hard to have perspective about yourself. It's hard to really speak objectively about yourself and to know what to say and to know what to leave out. So that can be something that hampers you. Here's the good news. The copy that you write for your business to sell your product is not about you. Let me repeat that. It's really not about you. I'm going to show you why. And it's also really not that complicated. And that's going to be really good news. So here's the marketing sin, the number one marketing sin that both big brands and entrepreneurs make a lot. And after you hear this presentation, I don't want you to make it anymore, okay? Most business owners talk about themselves before they talk about their customers. They talk about their products before they talk about their customers' problems. And that is where you get people, shying away when you're trying to get them to buy your stuff before you've demonstrated that you understand their problems. So we're going to talk a little bit about that now. This is where it's really not about you. It's not about your product. It's not about who you are, what you stand for. That'll come out later. What's really important is that you speak to your customers, because your prospect listens to WIIFM radio, which is what's in it for me, radio. That's where they're tuned in to. That's what they're tuned into. Is they're always listening for what's in it for them, and they don't really care, or they don't. It's not that they don't care. They're just not. No, they really don't care. They don't care about you at all. They care about themselves. So the more you talk about you, the less they're going to listen. The good news is, if you're self-conscious about what to say about yourself, don't worry about it. Talk about them, and they'll be very happy to listen to you. Okay, so here's something that I learned in my first week on Madison Avenue that my very first boss ever taught me, because I was stuck, just like you may be right now, like a deer in the headlights when I first got into my first job. I was working with a lot of very, well-known people in the field, and I was feeling super intimidated, and I was one of the only women, girls in the office at the time, and I felt like, what am I going to do? I have no idea what to say. And what he told me was, to write great copy, you only have to remember, he said 4 phrases. I've added a 5th one. And I've left little blanks here where I'm going to fill in all the blanks during this presentation. So we'll come back to this little graphic over and over again as we fill in the blanks. So the first magic phrase is, oh dear, or oh, insert expletive here. This is where you explore what is your customer's problem that your product solves. Now, of course, if you're selling something like clothing or cars and stuff like that, you're not necessarily going to be dealing that much with it solving a problem. But do me a favor and see if you can brainstorm a little bit, like, what sort of gap does your product solve? And if you are selling something like coaching or consulting or anything that's a solution to a problem, this is going to work really, really well for you. So brainstorm everything that there is that your customer is going through, and that's going to help you write your copy a lot. So here's one of the exercises that I use with my clients that helps them bring this out. I invite you, and this works really well if you have a partner, but I invite you to either sit down with a friend or do it on your own and pretend that you are your customer. Pretend you are your prospect. And you're going to your therapist or your counselor, something, a little Sigmund Freud sitting there, and you're just going to complain about your problem. So, imagine, you can do this with a friend. It's really good if you do it with 2 people and you record the conversation, and then one of you plays the therapist and one of you plays the customer. So imagine I'm my customer and I'm talking to my friend who's playing the role of the therapist, and my friend, the therapist, asks me, okay, so what brings you here today? What seems to be the problem? Now imagine I'm somebody who sells a product that has to do with diet and fitness. Like I'm selling a weight loss product. Let's just for this exercise. Imagine I'm selling a weight loss product. I'm my prospect. So my prospect is somebody, that I imagine is, say, in her 40s and maybe single or divorced and wants to lose those last, like maybe 20 pounds and feels, unhappy about her life. So the therapist asks me, the customer, what seems to be the problem? Why are you here? Oh my gosh, I just feel so terrible about myself because I just can't lose this weight. And the therapist says, well, okay, so tell me more. Why is that a problem? Oh my God, I just feel like not so unattractive, and these clothes don't fit. And I really, I want to date again, but I just don't have the confidence. And it's just, it's really bringing me down. And I've tried so many things and nothing really works. And then the therapist can keep on probing. Well, gee, that sounds rough. Well, how is that affecting anything else in your life? Like, say, your career, your business? Oh my gosh, I have no energy for my business or my job. And I feel very, I don't want to get out in front of people. I've been invited to speak in front of a group, and I really don't want to because I don't like the way I look, and all the clothes that I would normally wear for this meeting don't fit me. And I just don't feel good about getting out there. And so as you can see, like the more the therapist asks me these questions, the more I'm bringing out problems that this person might have. So if I were writing copy for my product, you could start to say at the very beginning of your copy, hey, is this extra weight costing you, a lot of, is it giving you low confidence? Is it keeping you from going forward at your job? Is it keeping you from dating? And are you hanging back and not meeting new people because you just don't like the way you look and you feel self-conscious about your weight? Have you tried everything and you just feel like there's something wrong with you, that you can't just seem to shake these extra pounds? And are you afraid that maybe you're a little bit too old to make a difference in the way that you look and feel? See, I'm just making this up as I go along, but this is all really good copy for somebody like that. And then you come along and you solve their problem for them. I'm going to tell you a little story right now about, because I get a lot of customers, clients and customers of mine telling me they don't want to talk about problems. They don't want to talk about the pain that their clients might have because it's manipulative. And they just want to talk about how great things are going to be when their customers buy their product. And I always say, it's super important to dig for the problem. And I often tell this story to illustrate that. When I first started in the advertising business, one of the first clients that I had to work on was Colgate-Palmolive, and they had just come out with with the product on the right that you see called Palmolive Automatic. Before they came out with this product, the only form that dishwasher detergent for the automatic dishwasher, the only form it came in was powders, and the big dog in the dishwasher powder world was Cascade. It still is, and it was manufactured by a competing company, Procter and Gamble, still one of the biggest. And Colgate was like the little guy on the block. And they decided in their wisdom to come out with a new form of this kind of product that would be a liquid. There was only one problem. Nobody needed it and nobody wanted it. So there was no pain. It wasn't solving a problem. And so a lot of, when we tested it, or when the focus groups tested it, women were the only real prospects for this at the time, were not interested, and they really didn't want to buy it. And the woman I was working with and I were supposed to come up with a TV commercial that was going to sell this product. And we were concerned because we couldn't find an angle that was going to be, because anytime we said, well, it's a liquid, people would say, so what? I don't care. And this is exactly what you don't want people to say about your product. You say, here I have this thing, and people have to be able to say, that sounds great because, and if you say, I have this thing, and they say, so what? Then they're not going to buy. And so if you have a lot of competition and a lot of people or other products out there that are a lot like yours, you need to find the problem that your product is going to solve, or the gap that it's going to fill, so that people won't say, so what? So my partner and I, in desperation, decided to attend one of these focus groups to see what these women were saying. And so again, they had a bunch of women around a table talking about these products. I was sitting behind one of those one-way mirrors watching them, a little creepy, okay? And they were all saying how much they loved Cascade and how they would never switch, and they didn't want this new liquid product, and they didn't understand why anybody would want it. And, I was thinking we were really screwed. And the person who was asking them the questions kept probing and trying to find something for them, something that she could kind of hang something on. And eventually she got frustrated and she said to the women in the room, Okay, well, if you had to think of something, I understand you love Cascade, but if you had to think of something, if I gave you $1 million to think of something, some reason why some moment where you don't love the way you're doing dishes now, what would it be? And one of the women said, well, it's probably because I have an older dishwasher. Now, she was still not blaming the product because she loved Cascade so much. It's probably because I have an older dishwasher, she says. But every once in a while, I'll put the dishwashing powder into the dishwasher, and I'll run the dishwasher. And then when it's done, I open it up, and somehow the powder's gotten stuck in that little cup in the door. It hasn't dissolved, and it got stuck in there. And now, the dishes aren't clean. There's little bits of dishwasher powder all over my dishes, and I have to do everything all over again. And the other women around the table went, yeah, that happened to me too. I hate when that happens. And they started to get like, all of a sudden they didn't love it so much. And the moderator, the person who was asking the questions, got really excited and said, well, tell me more. Tell me how that feels. Oh, well, it's so frustrating because I thought that's the last thing I do in my day, and the dishes are supposed to be clean, and I want to put them away, and I can't do it because it's, I have to run it again, and it's just very frustrating. And all of the women around the table agreed that was a very frustrating moment, and they absolutely hated that. And the moderator really smelled blood at this point. And she said, okay, well, how does that make you feel? And the woman says, it makes me feel like taking all my dishes and just throwing them out the window. And all the other women said, yeah, me too. And it was like pitchforks and torches. And 5 minutes ago, they were saying how much they loved Cascade. But now we found the 1 minute where the product that they loved so much didn't perform. And ours did. So my partner and I decided that we would make a TV commercial out of that exact story. And I'm going to try to show it to you now. I have to warn you, the sound is not terrific. And I'm going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering on my computer, so bear with me. But I found it on YouTube. This commercial is like 30 years old. I found it on YouTube, and I can show it to you now. It's not the, so please bear with me. Let's see what I can do about this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my browser. Okay, here it is. This is the result of that exact story that you just heard.
After 25 years, people have had it with dishwasher powders all over their dishes. Fortunately, you're about to get a break from powders. Introducing Palmolive Automatic, a revolutionary new liquid made just for automatic dishwashers. Because it's a liquid, it dissolves faster to rinse clean with no powder residue. So you can get on with other things. Try new Palmolive Automatic and break away from powders.
Okay, so definitely not the most subtle commercial in the world. I'm going to put this microphone back in so we can have some better sound. And if you couldn't hear the audio, you could kind of tell the story by the way the pictures tell the story. Oh my God, these people really feel bad about the way their dishes came out, so that's why they're throwing them away. They're frustrated. But look, here's this great new product that solves that entire problem. It works this way so that you won't have this problem anymore. And here's a little clue about this entire presentation. That commercial follows the exact format that I'm teaching you today. Okay, it starts off with oh dear, and now we're going to get to the next part. So I'm going to start to share the screen again. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, and back to the slideshow. Okay, so oh no, it started everything from the beginning. Okay, let's see. Okay, we did all that. We did all that. Sorry about this, you guys. Did all that. I didn't realize we were going to start from the beginning. Darn it. Okay, so we did oh dear, and we told you the story about the dishwashing detergent, and now we're on to the next one. So we know oh dear is the first one out of this 5. Then good news. Good news. We've solved the problem. You just saw it happen in that TV commercial, right? Oh dear, you've got this incredibly frustrating situation. Good news, we've got the solution. And this is where in your copy you might want to talk about, imagine how great it's going to be when you lose that 20 pounds and you can fit into those, when your pants are big on you and you feel so great about your body. Imagine how wonderful it's going to feel when you find the love of your life and you're able to travel together and share great moments together and, you know, attend family functions together, and then maybe start a family and all the things you do. And just imagine when you'll be able to just, like, you know, go and hang out on the beach and not have to be at the office all the time because you've started your own business, that you can work from anywhere and you do not have to be chained to your desk or be at the behest of some boss. Imagine how that would be. This is where you describe those kinds of things. And see, this doesn't take that much writing talent. You just have to imagine what the person really wants. You've imagined what you've already described what they don't want and what they don't like about their current situation, and now you can describe what they might like and how great it's going to be. And good news, you've solved the problem. Now, at this point, they may say, "Well, that sounds great, but I don't know if I can believe you." And that's when you go to phrase number 3. Here's why. Here's why what? Here's where you kind of give, you substantiate your claim. Oh no, you got this problem. It's a terrible problem. Your life sucks. Good news, we've got the answer. Here's why. Here's why you can believe me. Here's why you can believe it works. Okay, and so this is where you might start to talk about other people who have gotten results. This is where testimonials come in. This is where you could bring in authority kinds of information like statistics to kind of, you know, bolster your own authority. This is where you bring in social proof, like all of these other people, like when you see McDonald's, how many hamburgers they've sold, or how many other happy customers there have been. When you see companies mention how many other people have already, you know, bought something. There's even software out right now. There's one called Proof, and another one where you're on somebody's sales page and you'll see popping up at the bottom, so somebody just bought this, somebody just purchased this. The idea is that you're not alone, right? Stories are huge. Stories are great here's why sections. It can be your own story. Hey, you know, I went through this problem. I had the same problem as you, and I struggled, and I looked for a solution, and finally I found this amazing product, technique, modality, whatever, and now I turned my life around, or I turned my business around, and this is the result that I have now. Or you can tell a story like that about one of your clients. Or you can let your clients tell their own stories. But stories are huge in marketing, because people love stories. They always have, and it's great for credibility and connection. It's great evidence, and that's what the Here's Why section in my mind is all about. This is where you can start to talk about how your stuff works and the process, and how many steps there are and things like that. This is the kind of thing that a lot of people start off with, and nobody cares about any of that until you've demonstrated the oh dear good news part for them. And this is where you would also start to talk about all the things they're going to get, all the stuff and the features of the product. You still want to be talking mostly about benefits. And in my course, the 3-Step Copy to Cash Machine, we do a lot of work on features versus benefits. I think they're both important, but benefits are more important than features. What's the difference between a feature and a benefit? Okay, this pen, I just grabbed this off my desk. This pen is black. It's black, and it comes with the cap comes off and the cap goes back on. So those are features, that it's a black felt tip marker with a cap that comes off. But what are the benefits? The benefits are, this is a very dark black marker that makes a fantastic emphatic mark. The cap keeps it from drying out, so it lasts a really long time. The little clip on the thing can clip onto your pockets. You can take it with you anywhere. It's water based, so it won't stain your clothes. So a feature is something where you're just describing the product itself, and then here's a little tip: if you add the words "so that" after a feature, that's where you put the benefit. You know, it's water based, so that it'll come. If it gets on your clothes, it'll wash right out. It leaves a very dark black emphatic mark, so that people will really get the message when you write. I mean, I'm just making this up because I just picked this up off my desk, but you see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's just some of the things that you can do in order to bolster your credibility in the Here's Why section. So you've demonstrated. So here we are again. Oh dear, good news. Oh dear, I have a problem. I understand your problem. I'm going to describe your problem to you. I'm going to describe your problem to you better than you could probably even describe it yourself. That's going to make you feel a lot of rapport with me, that I really understand what you're going through. Good news, I have the solution to the problem. You already kind of believe me because I've described the problem so well, right? but I'm afraid that, I'm not sure I can believe that that this problem is really solved by your product. That's when you bring in the here's why. I've look at all these other people who have gotten these results. Here's some statistics. Here's a before and after picture. Here's the way it works, so you can start to believe. And the fourth phrase is that's right. That's right. It's kind of confirmation. That's right. You're going to solve that big problem. You're going to have this amazing result. You're getting all of this proof that it works. You're getting all of the things that come with it, all of the features and all of the benefits that come with it. And I'm going to stack these benefits on top of each other, and everything about it is just exactly what you're looking for. You're getting all of this double dip ice cream, this humongous, fantastic thing. This is where you might hear in an infomercial or something where you're going to get this and you're going to get that and you're going to get this, and you're thinking, and maybe you'll even say how you might even mention how valuable, what's the monetary value of each component, and it adds up to, a lot of money. And so you're thinking, oh my God, how much is this going to cost? That's right. You get everything you see here. That's right. You get all of this stuff for only this much money. So this is where you would contrast the price, to the value that they were getting. So they got you offering a lot of value for and the amount of money that you're charging in comparison to the value is small. So now already I'm like, okay, I'm going to solve my problem. I'm going to get the great result. I really believe it's going to work because of all of this evidence. I'm getting all of this great stuff. I thought it was going to be a lot of money. It's not as much money as I thought. And then you've got the last phrase, which I've added because we're in a little bit of direct marketing here. Oh dear, good news. Here's why. That's right. But wait, there's more, obviously, because everyone knows that phrase, right? You talk about bonuses. Bonuses or just some extra add-ons and things are things that sweeten the pot. You've already demonstrated that your product or service has enough value to be worth the price you're charging. Now, on top of that, you're going to add some extra things. So I liked in my course, we talk about this a lot, this whole video about bonuses, but right now I'll give you a few hints right away. A lot of times the best bonuses to give are ones that don't cost you anything, especially if you're doing digital products and things. You don't really have to take any time or effort or money to do the bonuses. A bonus is very valuable to your customer, but it doesn't cost you much to deliver or anything to deliver. So these are things like checklists and spreadsheets and other things that help them consume the original product. These are things that complement or help them use the main offer. You might think of something that they might need right before or right after they've used your product. Some people call that a bonus sandwich, but something that helps them solve a problem. It may already be hiding in your product. You could take something out of the product that's already in there. It's something that was just part of the product that was already there, and decide to call it a bonus, offer it, like make a separate offer of this feature that makes it kind of stand on its own. So sometimes I'll see that with my clients who are coaches, and they'll put together like an information product, and it will have so many modules and so many handouts and so many things that I'm like, oh my God, this is just way too much. Let's just separate out some of these things and call them bonuses. Or it's an extra added kind of support. So for example, if you were selling a coaching program, you might say that this private Facebook group was, instead of just calling it part of your product, why don't you call it a bonus private Facebook group, so that, see, that's a feature. The Facebook group is a feature, but so that you'll have all the support you need. You'll have a place to ask questions. You'll be able to share what you're going through. You'll get cheerleaders and support from other people. You'll be able to compare notes. You'll be able to see extra Facebook Live videos that I'm going to post in the group. I'm just making this up, but you can see all the, I've got a Facebook group so that you get all these other things. Now you can see how that could be a bonus. And bonuses can also address what we know as objections. So, I'm thinking, oh my God, your product seems so amazing, but I'm afraid that I won't have time, or I won't have the money, or I'm afraid I can't, I won't have the capability to do it. And so the bonuses can address those things. So in the interest of time, I can't stick around. I'd love to talk about this more, but I can't. So anyway, these are the five, magic phrases that I want you to remember. Oh dear, good news. Here's why. That's right. But wait, there's more. Now, you can use this kind of sequence in a long sales page or in a video, but you can also take pieces of them out to use for emails and Facebook Live videos and things. Because, for example, anything in the oh dear section, you could take one of those problems that your client is having and talk about how to solve it in a video or in a blog post or even in a Facebook post or a tweet that goes to a blog post or something like that. So you can use this framework to brainstorm all of these different things. In the here's why section, you're going to want to brainstorm and collect all the testimonials, all the good things that your clients have said about you. You're going to want to collect statistics around the topic area that you're involved in, and things like that, so that you'll have enough evidence to show when you start to sell your product. So here's the thing. What's next? First of all, here's how I'm just going to give you some brainstorming tips. Here's the most important thing. When you're brainstorming all of this stuff, these 5 steps, don't worry about writing copy. Just get it out. Just brainstorm. Brainstorm problems, brainstorm benefits, brainstorm features of your product, like what's in it and why is it good. See if you can, again, gather up testimonials, gather up facts and statistics. They could be yours that actually have come out of your business, but if you're just getting started and you don't have statistics of your own, you can borrow some statistics from the industry. So example, let's go back to the example of the weight loss coach or the fitness coach that I used earlier. If I was just getting started and I didn't have facts or statistics of my own or any kind of testimonials of my own because I haven't started working with clients yet, I could present facts like the rate of obesity in the United States or in my country is X percent. And growing since 2014, 25% more people are reported obese and something like that. Now, I didn't make that up. I found it probably on Google or something, but because I'm presenting the statistics, my credibility goes up as an expert. You see how that works? So gather all of those things. You may not use them all, okay? And ask customers, ask clients and prospects, like, what are the kinds of things that they're struggling with and stuff, so that it all becomes part of the fodder, all becomes part of the paint on your palette you can use in your copy. Can you see how this is not really about writing? It's just about understanding who your customer is, what their problems are, what they really want, and then seeing how your product and every feature and benefit of your product helps to solve those problems for them. Look for social proof in social media. If anybody has said anything nice about you on social media, make sure you get a screen capture. Those kinds of things you can use in your copy. Brainstorm bonuses. Like, what kind of bonuses could you add? What kind of bonuses are already hiding in your product that you could talk about in your copy? Or what could you add? Like, was there anything easy and simple for you that would be really valuable for your customers that you could throw in at the end to make it really irresistible? And here is a little bonus tip. As I've already kind of intimated, if you watch those late night infomercials, especially the ones that go on for a really long time, you will see this formula, this 5-step formula, over and over again. You've seen it a million times. This is why I'm telling you it's not hard to do. You already understand this language. It's like a story. Oh dear, good news. Here's why. That's right, but wait, there's more. Just remember that and you can always write copy. But I'm going to make it even easier for you right now because I want to give you a free gift. I have nothing for sale on this video. I want to give you a free gift that's just for people who've come to the Entrepreneurial You. Excuse me, the Entrepreneurial You. Wow, it's a mouthful. I do talk fast. I know, I'm from New York. I can't help it. So I want you to go to lisarothstein.com/TEY, and you will be able to download a document that I give to my clients. See if I can move my face out of here so you can actually read this. It's a form that if you just fill it in, it's a kind of a capture form where you can fill in all of the things that I've taught you today. It's something where you can capture all your ideas and thoughts as you go along. So you're not going to sit down in one sitting and write all of your copy for your business. It's something that you do over time. It's a living document, and this is going to help you brainstorm all of this. When you have it all filled in, you've got the makings of a pretty good sales page right there. And I haven't stopped there, because I'm also including a video that walks you through the entire thing and gives you examples all along the way, so that you won't feel lost and be wondering like, oh, what does she mean by this? Okay. So if you want to go to lisarothstein.com/TEY, you will be able to download that. And let's see, I'm going to stop this, see if I can get out of here. Oh, 3, what does that even mean? Stop this and see if I can go to, let's see, I'm actually going to show you what the page looks like. So you can see. Let's see, make sure it works too. You're going to see what the page looks like. When you get there, you will see this. Perfect. Okay, so all you want to do is click the orange button. You'll be asked for your name and email. I'll send you the form, this form right away. And inside the form, there'll be a link to a secret video that goes along with it that will allow you to just kind of take you through it. You don't really need to watch the video, but it really does help. I think it was a class that I charged $97 for, so, and I'm giving it to you for free. It repeats a little bit of what's in the video that you heard today, but it goes into more depth and takes you through the actual form. So I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you'll listen to the interview that I'm doing with Hanneke. It's going to be awesome. And come and visit me on Facebook or on LinkedIn. After you opt in for the Sales Copy Brainstormer, you'll receive an invitation to my private Facebook group, The Creative Moneymakers, and where we share a lot more about copy and marketing and how to be creative in your business. So I really appreciate a chance to talk to you guys today, and I really hope you enjoy the summit. A lot of great people are speaking, and I'm really honored to be part of it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.